The Commission created this office in 2015. It came after we had seen already a significant rise of anti-Semitism and also seen terrorist attacks against Jewish communities and Jewish premises. The Commission wanted to make clear that we addressed this issue directly and specifically. My role is really threefold. One is to liaise closely with the Jewish communities, to be in touch with them on national level and on European level. With the different organizations, we really cover the whole diversity of Jewish communities, and to use that information and that exchange to advise the political level of the European Commission with regards to concrete policy advice. And then to agree on certain policies and to put those policies into practice. We work closely with the national level. In fact, we can decide whatever we want on European level unless it trickles down and member states embrace it through their own structures. It will have no effect on the Jewish communities. So it's very important for us to work closely with Milena Santerini. We work very closely. We knew each other also before she became national coordinator, and we have twice a year meetings in Brussels where we bring together the national coordinators and also other member states authorities with the Jewish communities from the national level, and we discuss in this format specific actions and specific areas together. Education, security, these are responsibilities of the member states, and there we can help and support. Yeah, the increase of anti-Semitic hate speech and conspiracy that we saw during COVID is really enormous and very threatening and frightening, I think. So this has really significantly increased, and we also know that whatever happens online can easily then take to the street, and so that's why we need to address these issues very directly. We have had since 2016 a code of conduct with the platforms on removing illegal hate speech. This has worked well, but with regards to the algorithms and the speed in which hate speech spreads, much more needs to be done. And also we have passed policy on disinformation, because a lot of the content that is now online is not necessarily illegal, but it's harmful, and it's harmful for radicalization and for creating false images about the Jewish communities. So what we want to do, as we are now planning to have a strategy against anti-Semitism and for fostering Jewish life on European level. Yeah, so the European Commission will, for the first time in October, adopt a European strategy on combating anti-Semitism and fostering Jewish life. The President of the European Commission and Vice President Skinas, who is responsible for this strategy, they are very clear that they want to make this ambitious and comprehensive, and that we really cover all the areas. So we will look at the prevention and combat of anti-Semitism, in particular also online, but we will also look at how we can ensure the security of Jewish communities in close cooperation with the member states, but also with support of EU funding, and how we can support the diversity of Jewish life, and also make Jewish culture more known among the general public. This strategy as such is directed towards the general public because, as we know, the problem when it comes to anti-Semitism is the anti-Semite and not the Jewish community, and sometimes this is seemingly reversed. So very important, I think, to increase the knowledge about Jewish traditions also among the general public. And then we want to focus on education and research on anti-Semitism and also Jewish life, as well as Holocaust remembrance, because I think it is now really the next 10 years will decide how we will commemorate the Holocaust, as we have less and less survivors with us, but also with regards to a multicultural society. Many people did not have family here in Europe when the Holocaust happened. So the fact that the Holocaust is something you need to understand as a universal human rights violation and genocide. Now, I think we need an approach where we engage all the different actors. So on the one side, we have strong legislation on European level with regards to hate speech, and also, by the way, Holocaust denial, trivialization and condoning the Holocaust is illegal across Europe based on European legislation, and that legislation needs to be enforced, which means we need also prosecution of those that spread hate speech online, which is a challenge because you need a lot of capacity in order to do this among the prosecutors and law enforcement authorities. But it's very important to upscale this. Then we need to work closely with the platforms. They need to recognize even more their responsibility with regards to spreading hate. And so currently we have on the table the Digital Services Act, which will increase the transparency of data flows and the transparency of money flows, of advertising, where does what come from, and redress mechanisms, better mechanisms to flag something. So all of this will have to be much more transparent if you want to operate in Europe. Then, of course, we need also those NGOs that can be trusted flaggers and can find and assess the content against whether it is illegal or whether it is disinformation, conspiracy myths, and then act accordingly with counter narratives or with takedown requests and so on. And I believe also need to give tools to the users, because when you engage in addressing hate speech as a user, you can very easily become a target yourself. Yeah, it is a real challenge because with regards to any kind of source for potential anti-Semitic expression, COVID included, for example, we see that there is an enormous upsurge in content. So, as I said before, we need to responsibilize the different actors. We need to act against disinformation as well. And I think there's one important aspect, specifically when it comes to Israel-related anti-Semitism. I had the feeling that Jews here in Europe felt that they were being held responsible for whatever was happening in Israel, and that they suddenly were in a position where they had to explain, and and I think while there is of course a close connection with Israel, this holding people here responsible for what is happening elsewhere is in itself already anti-Semitic. And so there I think we need to be much clearer about European Jews simply being European citizens and not having to explain conflicts elsewhere.